The Vergas Show is brought to you by Spanky Stone Hearth, casual fine dining on beautiful Rose Lake. Vergas State Bank, your locally owned community full-service bank. Vergas Event Center for gatherings large or small, including weddings. Vergas Liquor Store, where all the profits profit Vergas.
Make the right call. Call Hanson's, the most trusted name in plumbing and heating.
Hi, welcome to the Vergas Show. I'm Sherri Hanson. Thanks for joining me today. I'm in the lovely garden area of Mary Bennett's out at your home. Hi, Mary. Thank you for joining me today.
Okay.
Yes, I mean, you welcomed me into your lovely home, and we're outside where in the background is your gardens, and life is good, right?
For me, it has been.
It has been.
I can't complain.
Well,
no.
Good. Mary, you've been a lifelong resident. I consider it lifelong resident of Vergas. I mean, young girl. But so I wanted to talk to you a little bit about, you've been getting some hype in the papers and things like that about your years at St. Henry's and that. And we will talk about that. But I want to start at the beginning. Where did you grow up?
Okay. I was born at Hope, North Dakota. And my folks bought a farm at Valley City, North Dakota. So that's where I spent my years until I was 14, 15. But through the years, we would come to this area fishing one week out of the year.
So like a family vacation.
Yeah. And the Rocky Bar back in 1949 was for sale. Okay. And I don't know, I guess my folks decided they liked the area, and so
you decided they bought it?
Year, they packed up and we moved to Frazee.
So you left the farming life. What was your maiden name?
Mo. M-O-E.
Okay, so you left the farming life at 14 years old with your family, and your dad came and bought a bar.
And bought the Rocky Bar back in 49.
Yeah, and yes. That's amazing. And then so the Rocky Bar, which some people know, but not everybody, is the original of what is now Spanky Stone Hearth.
Right.
And so where did you live?
We rented a cabin.
Okay.
For I think 2 years.
Okay, just close by to the bar. Yeah.
One of the resorts.
Sure.
Well, Cornet's, I think, originally built the Rocky Bar.
I think you're right. Yes.
And they had the big house just next door
to it,
and a couple of cabins.
Okay, yes. And so then you rented a cabin there.
We rented a cabin.
How many is in your family, Mary? How many siblings do you have?
My brothers and sisters.
Yes.
I had 6.
Okay, and then you all moved here.
Well, Marvin was in the Air Force.
Okay.
And Maynard in the Navy. So the 2 older ones were
gone.
Yeah, they were gone.
Home.
Yeah. So, but the rest of us, my little sister Jan was 2.
Okay.
And the younger ones started at Rose Lake School.
Oh, so at the school there.
Yes.
That country school.
The country school, and I started high school, so I went to Frazee.
Now, did you get bused there?
Yes.
The bus picked you up, and so you went to school in Frazee. Now, I know that you also probably had jobs to do at the Rocky Bar, right? I mean, that generation especially, you had to work, right?
The older ones in the family either babysat the younger ones, or they had to help clean, which was after the night before that everyone was.
Because it was more of a dance hall, right?
Yeah, because it was, at that time it was a dance hall, and many people came.
Well, and I know my parents talk about it. My dad, but yeah.
And so they would come and dance and have a good time, and the next morning somebody had to clean.
And that was you?
That was me and one. Merlin, that had the shop in Vergas, and Maynard. No, Maynard was gone. Myron. Yes, and so the next morning we would clean, and usually I would get the restrooms or the bar area. And if you had to clean every morning or evening, and the stale beer and whatever.
Yeah.
No, you don't like that beverage.
And the smoke, yeah. And so you never smoked or drank because you had that memory from all of that.
And back in those days, smoking, the bar room was kind of bluish. Yeah.
Oh dear.
Tinge.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know that would maybe turn a lot of people,
turns
right?
You off.
Yeah.
A teenager.
Especially, as a teenager. Well, it ended up being a good thing for you because you had a good healthy life.
Yeah.
Yes. So how many years did your family own the bar then?
I think around 10.
Okay.
Because then I graduated and moved to DL.
All right, but before you graduated, didn't you meet somebody?
You know, I did, but he didn't come up to the Rocky Bar to see me.
Okay.
It was that hamburger basket.
Oh, he came for the hamburger basket.
Well, you could come every night and eat, you know.
Yes.
And kind of gaze around.
Sure. Yeah. And then that's where your courtship started.
He only lived a mile down from the Rocky Bar.
Okay, and then what was his name?
Arnold Bennett.
Arnold Bennett. He lived a mile away, and he'd come for burger baskets, and then that's how he got to see you.
And we ended up getting married in 1955, and we built a home between our two parents, you might say. My folks were at the Rocky Bar, and he was down a mile on the other side. You know, when you think about it. Yeah. I was there. We built here.
So is this the home that you built with Arnie?
In 1957.
In 1957, where you're at. Okay. Where was the home that you moved in from St. Was it this home that you moved from St. John's?
When I got married?
Yes.
We lived in Perham for a year and a half.
Okay.
Yes.
And then you moved a home from the church, correct?
Okay.
It was the old school. What was that?
We put the well, the sewer, and the basement in.
Okay, and that's right where we're at right now, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
And then we bought St. John's, I believe it was church and schoolhouse.
Okay.
At one time.
And then you moved that here.
I've got the bell that was on top of that. We were always going to fix it. Never did.
The school bell. Fun.
Yes.
Sure, it must have been the school bell. Yes.
Right. So we took it apart, brought the sides out, put them up.
You didn't move the whole thing. You took it apart. Okay, and then rebuilt it here.
The joists and the hardwood floors, everything is in this little house.
How special is that?
24 by 30 it was.
24 by 30
and then we built the entry.
And then you had the basement for the foundation.
Yeah, we lived in the basement.
Well, now, and Arnie was kind of a handyman as far as construction.
Well, he was a carpenter for a while. Yes.
And so then he was able to build that home
and
for you.
his dad helped.
Sure.
His folks
and I'm sure a lot of family helped with that.
Neighbors and
that's
back
what they
in
do.
Those days, yes.
Yes.
That's what they did.
So you stayed home at that point because you were raising a family. How many children did you and Arnie have?
We had 5, and I was a stay-at-home mom. I babysat for different ones.
Sure. Yeah, you did almost like what's called a daycare now. Yeah. Your granddaughter carried on that tradition, didn't she? Sheila did.
Sheila did, yes.
And so,
she's so good at it.
Your children were or are. I mean, they're still. They're Larry and Terry.
Okay, the oldest one. Jerry, Larry, Terry, Gary, and Mary.
Okay.
Mary Lynn, really, but Mary.
Mary, right. And so. When you named your first one, Jerry's the oldest, and so did you know that you were going to go with that whole theme?
No.
I think.
Well, Arnie had no sisters.
Okay.
Maybe 3 girl cousins, so we figured girls.
Yeah. So that was on your mind. No, you got Jerry, Larry, Gary, and Terry, and then finally Mary Lynn came along. Oh, that's awesome.
Crazy.
But, back then, raising a family, right here next to your parents and stuff like that, I mean, those were good days.
We all kind of worked together.
Yeah, you worked together.
The gardens, and we didn't, Arnie's folks had cattle and
so I mean, you never were idle.
We didn't.
Yeah, you always went.
Yeah.
But Mary, I want to talk to you a little bit about your days after the kids have left home, but we're going to have to do that on another segment. So everybody stay tuned. We're going to be back with Mary Bennett, and we're going to hear about the rest of the story of her life. Thank you for telling me about the early days. Those are the best days, right? And you stay tuned. Have a good day in Vergas.